In the crowded streets of Japan, you might have passed him, a small, frail man in a wheelchair, unassuming, quiet, forgotten. But decades ago, this man committed one of the most horrifying crimes in modern history. He killed a woman, not out of rage, not by mistake, but because he wanted to consume her flesh, blood, everything. This is the true story of Issei Sagawa, the cannibal who walked free.
Welcome to Last Alibi, where lies linger and silence speaks louder than words.
Issei Sagawa was born in 1949 in Kobe, Japan. He was born prematurely, so small he could fit in the palm of his father's hand. Sickly and shy, he grew up surrounded by wealth. His father was a powerful businessman. But privilege couldn't cure what grew inside him. From the age of 6, Sagawa claimed he had cannibalistic fantasies. In school, while others talked about girls, Sagawa fantasized about eating them. He read the Brothers Grimm and focused on the scenes of people being eaten.
It was never about hatred. I wanted to absorb their beauty. I believed that if I ate them, they'd become a part of me forever.
In his 20s, Sagawa was arrested in Tokyo after following a German woman home and attempting to eat part of her flesh while she slept. The charges were dropped after his wealthy father paid for a settlement, but the urges never left. Instead, they grew stronger. In 1981, Sagawa moved to Paris to pursue a PhD in literature. The city was his escape and his hunting ground. Renée Hartevelt was a 25-year-old Dutch student. She was intelligent, fluent in 3 languages, and curious about the world. In Paris, she met Sagawa at the Sorbonne. He was awkward but polite. She felt sorry for him. She agreed to help him study German poetry. She had no idea he had already picked her as his victim. Sagawa invited Renée to his apartment. He told her he wanted her to read German poems into a recorder. As she sat on the floor, facing away from him, he shot her in the neck with a hunting rifle. She died instantly.
The moment she fell, I felt relief. I had waited my entire life for this.
What followed was horrific. He raped her corpse. He carved her body with a knife. He kept body parts in the fridge and ate pieces over the next 2 days. He took photos, dozens of them, as if preserving a memory. On the 3rd day, Sagawa packed the remains into 2 suitcases and tried to dump them in a public park near the Bois de Boulogne. A jogger saw the bags leaking blood and called the police. He was arrested on the spot. Inside his apartment, investigators found human flesh in the fridge, a camera full of photos, and journals filled with fantasies of murder and cannibalism.
But instead of a trial, the French court ruled him mentally unfit to stand trial.
Sagawa was committed to a mental institution in France, but just 15 months later, he was deported to Japan. Japanese doctors deemed him mentally sane, but because charges had been dropped in France, he could not be legally tried again. He was released in 1986, just 5 years after the murder. Instead of hiding in shame, Sagawa embraced his infamy. He wrote books, gave interviews, acted in adult films. He appeared on talk shows describing what human flesh tasted like.
It was like raw tuna, soft, melting on my tongue.
René's family was devastated, but Sagawa became a celebrity. Today, Issei Sagawa is an old man, paralyzed by a stroke, living off government welfare in Tokyo. He said he regrets what he did, but never denied it. He was never punished, never imprisoned, never silenced. One psychiatrist described him as the most rational madman he ever met. Renée Hartevelt, the brilliant, kind woman whose life was stolen, is remembered only in footnotes, while her killer signed autographs.
This isn't a horror movie, this happened. A woman died, and a killer walked free. The most terrifying monsters don't always hide in the shadows. Sometimes they're in plain sight. This was the story of Issei Sagawa, the cannibal who walked free.